Hello everyone, and welcome back to part 4 of the Item Toolkit Meal Handbook 217 module tutorial. In part 1, 2, and 3, we learned how to create MIL-217 systems and generate and customize reports and use the import-export of data and bill of materials. In part 4, we're going to look at how we carry out a what-if analysis. Let's open an existing MIL-217 system and look at our results. Here we have a system where the components are set to a certain environment and temperature and the failure rate, and MTBF results are based on this criteria: environment of ground benign and temperature of 30 degrees Celsius. We can see this when I select any component and look at the application parameters. Let's now consider how different these results for our system would be if we were to apply a different set of criteria. Let's say, for example, we would like to know what if our system is going to be operating in a ground-fixed environment with a temperature of 40 degrees Celsius? As we learned in part 1 of this series, we can have as many different modules within the same project and as many of the same module within the same project. So, first we will copy and paste this system to our project as a duplicate system. Then we change the system name to the new criteria of environment ground fixed and temperature of 40 degrees Celsius. Now we need to apply this new criteria to our second system. To do this, we would use the option under the Edit menu Global Parameters. Here we have the choice of what values we would like to change for our entire system, maybe multiple parameters at the same time. In our particular case, we would like to change the environment and temperature at the same time. So, let's increase the temperature for our system by 10 degrees Celsius and change the environment to ground fixed at the same time. Now we can click on OK for the changes to take place, and immediately we notice that the results on the hierarchy are updated and the overall system results are now updated in the project window. Let's see the difference in the failure rate and MTBF when compared to our original system set at ground benign and 30 degrees Celsius. As we can see, the failure rate is higher and the MTBF is smaller or earlier, hence slightly less reliable with the new criteria. This type of what-if analysis can be done for any of the parameters within the global parameters, and once you are happy with the changes and the new results obtained, you can choose to save the project or use the Save As option to give this a new project name. Now I will show you another way to obtain this type of what-if analysis using the chart option. First, I will show you how to obtain a line plot for any part of your MIL-217 system. And then we'll take a look at the mission phase chart whereby we can put our system through different phases to see the result for each phase. For this, let's switch over to the Chart tab. As you can see, this Chart tab is currently blank. To produce a chart, I would select any block or the system node on the hierarchy first. So, let's select this first block. Then I would right-mouse click on the blank chart to see what options are available. I can now choose Graph Options and see all of the available graph options. Let's first take a look at the failure rate versus temperature chart. As you can see, by default, this is set to 0 to 100 degrees centigrade and over 10 steps. Let's also explore the option to show Y value on the chart and select this also. Once I click OK, we can see a line plot for our system and observe how the failure rate goes higher as the temperature for our block is increased. Also, you will see the value for the failure rate for each of those 10 steps displayed on the chart. Now, if I wanted to see the same chart for my entire system rather than just block one, I would simply click on the top node of my system window and right-mouse click Option on the chart refresh. Now we have a line plot of failure rate versus temperature for our entire system. If I explore the right-mouse click option on the chart, I can see an option for chart type. Let's select vertical bar instead of a line plot and see if we prefer this. Now we have vertical bar chart representing our system with the failure rates results for each of the bars. Next, I will show you how we would produce a mission phase chart. Let's go back to right-mouse click option and select Graph Options. Here we would select Mission Phase, and as you can see, all of the phases become active. We can now populate these phases with our criteria. Let's put in the duration along with environment and temperature for a few phases and see what they would look like on a chart. I'm just going to randomly enter some data for these phases. The idea of this mission phase chart is to obtain results for multiple scenarios all at the same time, rather than what we did earlier by creating duplicate systems. However, we have more flexibility when we use the multiple systems, as the global parameters allow us to change multiple data at the same time, including stress values and adjustment factors, etc. Okay, so now that the criteria has been entered for each of our required phases, we can click on OK and see the results on a vertical chart with a failure rate calculation for each of those phases. I hope part 4 of this series on Item Toolkit MIL-217 has been useful, and we will see you in part 5, where I will show you how to create component part libraries, how to use these libraries for all your future MIL-217 systems, as well as how to import component parts in conjunction with libraries.